I'm deeply concerned about the curtailment of navigational rights and freedoms in the area of the Strait of Hormuz, impeding the delivery of oil, gas, fertilizer, and other critical commodities, disrupting energy, transport, manufacturing, and food markets, and strangling the global economy. As with every conflict, the whole of humanity is paying the price, even if a few are reaping huge profits. The pain will be felt for a long time to come. Consider these three scenarios based on forecasts from multiple sources. First, one where restrictions are lifted today. Supply chains will take months to recover, prolonging lower economic output and higher prices. This year's global economic growth will still drop from 3.4 to 3.1%. Global inflation, which had been declining, will climb from 3.8 to 4.4%, and global merchandise trade growth will shrink from 4.7% last year to roughly 2%, with some meaningful supply chain interruptions. And the world still reeling from the shocks of a pandemic and the war in Ukraine will endure further economic distress. And this is the best-case scenario. Now consider a second one, where disruption drags on through mid-year. Fertilizers run low, and crops yields fall short, and 45 million more people will face extreme hunger. Hard-won development gains are reversed overnight. Now in a third scenario, with severe disruptions persisting through the end of the year, inflation skyrockets past 6%, growth plummets to 2%, and immense suffering takes hold, especially among the world's most vulnerable populations. And we confront the specter of a global recession with dramatic impacts on people, on the economy, and on political and social stability. These consequences are not cumulative, they are exponential. Developing countries will be hit the hardest, as crushing debt impedes their ability to cope, with lost jobs, deeper poverty, and more hunger. The crisis has already locked in losses for months to come, and every day that ships cannot move escalates these costs and amplifies their reverberations across the global economy. And so my message to all parties is clear. Navigational rights and freedoms must be restored immediately, in line with the Security Council Resolution 2817. Open the strait, let all ships pass, let the global economy breathe again. And that requires more than physical reopening. I urge all parties to refrain from actions that could undermine the ceasefire. I've remained in close contact with a number of parties, as has my personal envoy, Jean Arnaud. All our interlocutors, independent of their different perspectives, recognize the need to work towards a peaceful, comprehensive, and durable resolution to the conflict. In the meantime, the UN system is working to mitigate the impact of the current crisis. The Secretary General of the International Maritime Organization, Arsenio Dominguez, is developing a framework to securely evacuate ships and seafarers from the conflict zone, provided it is safe to do so. And they have the UN Office of Project Services, Jorge Moreira da Silva, who is leading the UN Task Force for the Strait of Hormuz, will be heading to the region to continue his active consultations for a possible humanitarian corridor to be ready if the worst-case scenarios materialize.
Can you tell us who Mr. Da Silva will be meeting with in the region? Does he have appointments set up? Who will he be speaking with? And is he getting, what kind of reception is he getting from the parties?
Sorry, he has been meeting with the representatives of all the countries that are relevant, from the United States and Iran, to countries of the Gulf, to countries of the negotiating the negotiating, the mediator team led by Pakistan, and he will be visiting Oman, Iran, and countries in the Gulf in order to explain the projects that we have, which, let's be clear, are not to replace freedom of navigation. They are, in a worst-case scenario where everything is blocked, to see if there is any chance to have, for humanitarian purposes, some kind of corridor. But our objective is total freedom of navigation in the area of the Strait of Hormuz.